Okay, so Arushi, let's proceed ahead with your HR for the post of law officer in Power Grid Corporation. So let's start with your introduction. Please give us your very brief introduction, Arushi.
Yes. Good morning, sir. My name is Arushi Singh. I was born in Raebareli, Uttar Pradesh, and I've been brought up in New Delhi. My father is a mechanical engineer and he's recently retired from Air India. Thereafter, he started working with Indigo. My mother is a homemaker. I completed my schooling from Delhi Public School Dwarka in 2015 and completed my BLLB honors from University School of Law and Legal Studies, Guru Gobind Singh in Brastha University in 2020. Thereafter, I worked as a junior advocate with my senior, assisting him with matters in the civil as well as District and High Court of Delhi. And after that, I've recently completed my LLM from National Law University Delhi, and currently I'm pursuing an advanced diploma in contracts from Nalsar University of Law, Hyderabad.
Okay, so how long this diploma is for?
So
Nalsar you are
it's
doing?
for 1 year.
1 year. So that is a
Yes.
specialization in contracts only.
Yes, this is related to the drafting negotiation of contracts.
So with what intention you have joined this diploma?
Sir, I've basically because while applying for job at PSUs, the main work is related in the corporate sector relating to contracts and their negotiation, drafting, mediation. So basically, that was offered in the course. So I thought that it would be an add-on to my skill because the best practices relating to the field would be taught there.
So Arushi, you practice for some time, right?
Yes, sir.
How long did you practice?
Sir, it was for 1 year. However, that 2020 to 2021 I worked. However, that was the COVID period. So basically, it was less of litigation and more of sort of drafting.
Hmm. So why you left it? Looks like you were learning good in that.
Yes, sir, I was learning good in that. However,
Hmm.
I wanted to also pursue my master's because, firstly, there was supposed to be an increment in the time period of doing masters in law. The Bar Council of India came out with a notification that said that they probably extend the masters for 2 years rather than 1 year. So I wanted to complete it in 1 year because that would have been strategic, so I can get back to working. So basically,
So
that
how do you
is
think
the.
your masters has helped you?
So basically, I think my master's has helped me greatly while it comes to understanding where law comes from. Because even in the corporate sector, most of the provisions are statutory in the modern day. However, where they came from, UK or US, it really makes us understand from which lens we should apply those in the present legal scenario. For example, if we talk about which makes the directors personally liable. So that comes from UK, and that is basically a common law doctrine. So that will help that will help me to really apply that law if it comes in the present cases.
Hmm. So Arushi, can you tell us something about public interest litigation and what is the efficacy of this tool?
Yes, sir. Public interest litigation was established in India basically in the 1970s and 80s, spearheaded by Honorable Justice Kuldeep Singh and also Honorable Justice Bhagwati and Honorable Justice Iyer. So basically, what it means is the locus standi is relaxed. That is, anyone can go to the constitutional courts, that is the High Court and the Supreme Court, to basically put a grievance which is public in nature. It may not personally affect them, but if it's affecting the welfare of the public, then the court will listen to it and protect the fundamental rights of the people who are aggrieved.
So has this tool really helped?
Sir, it has helped immensely, especially while it comes to environment protection, because there are a lot of petitions filed by MC Mehta, which basically led to a lot of environmental jurisprudence in our country. And there was also the Vikasha guidelines that were given in the 1997 case related to sexual harassment. And then there's Rudal Shah and Neelabhati Behra, which basically talks about prisoner rights. So this is very efficacious. However, in today's time, it is also seen as public litigation is made a tool for marketing of an vested interest. So people are really coming up in the name of public interest to put their own personal grievances forward, and basically so the Supreme
Uh,
Court is also.
yeah, Arushi, can you tell us something about the basic structure? What is the basic structure of the constitution?
Yes, sir. The basic structure of the Constitution, this doctrine itself is taken from the German Constitution, the basic law, which says that even though there is a written law, there must be some kind of notion that protects the integrity of the country. And in Keshwananda Bharati in 1973, basically, what the constitutional bench said was there are certain inalienable, non-derogable provisions that cannot be derogated from. You cannot, in the garb of amending the fundamental rights, take away those particular provisions. And those are basically provisions which are also enshrined in our preamble. So that would be fraternity, equality, justice, and sovereignty,
Okay,
judicial review. Yes, sir.
okay. So Arushi, now you already you have done some kind of course on contracts. Can you tell us the types of the contracts? What type of
Sir,
contracts do we have?
Sir, I've actually just started with the diploma this year only.
Okay.
However, yes, I will answer that question. So basically, if we talk about from the point of view of their pure legality, there are two kind of contracts, which is basically legal contracts, and then you have quasi-legal contracts, where legal contracts are binding and enforceable on the persons, and they're different from void agreements, which basically are not enforceable by the contract, not enforceable by law. However, in a quasi-judicial contract, there is not an actual contract between the parties, but because of the circumstances they exist in, an implied contract is made between the parties.
Mm. So Arushi, why you are thinking of joining public sector? You have multiple
So,
options in corporate also, right?
yes, sir.
Mm.
Sir, I'm thinking of joining public sector first because I believe that the operations of public sector undertaking are on such a large scale that you're attached to large scale projects which will add to your job profile. Also, public sector generally encourages additional acquiring of additional knowledge and skills, and there's also a balance in the personal and the professional life. And I think, so last but not the least, and most importantly, really, it would be that public sector really work not only on the profit motive, but because of the social service as well. So you will be contributing to the national economy, and as such, the nation building as well
So are
by
you
working.
aware about your work profile once you join Power Grid?
Yes, sir. Sir, I do have some idea. I'm not very completely sure, but I have looked up the cases basically which are filed through Power Grid. So from there, I could get an implicit idea. Basically, it's more to do with contractual obligations only, because Power Grid, there are also other electric utility corporations. So basically, there are also a lot of joint ventures, and they work with them. So there's a contractual of nature, and also there are a lot of cases going into arbitration, because since the amount is huge and the court proceedings can take time, so arbitration is a good way. So basically, I thought these were the main
Okay.
standpoint.
You know something about Power Grid?
Yes, sir. Sir, Power Grid is a Maharatna enterprise which is working under Ministry of Power, headed by Mr. K. Shrikant, and it is in the industry of electric grid, and its main product is transmission and distribution and energy trading, and it also offers consultancy and telecom services additionally.
Okay. Okay, Arushi, let me give you the feedback of this part first.
Yes,
See,
sir.
they will be interested to know why you are pursuing so many courses. First, I found your introduction to be little long and
Okay, sir.
also sometime deviating. You know, when like I give you example, like when you're telling about your father,
Hmm.
uh, that he is mechanical engineer, worked in Air Force, and then he retired, and now he's with Indigo. You need not to tell all those details. You
Okay,
can say,
sir.
"Sir, my father has worked in Air Force in the forces. He has worked in Indian Air Force or
Sir, Air India.
Air India. Sorry. So you just simply say my father has worked in Air India, and
Okay.
that's it. I mean, need not to tell more because every word, every sentence you have to very
Yes.
meticulously speak. Right? It should be about you
Yes.
more. Then I did
Okay,
my
sir.
schooling from DPS Dwarka, but you said
Hmm.
school. And then I did my
Yes, sir.
BA LLB from Indraprastha University, Guru Gobind Singh University, I think you said.
Hmm.
And then after that, sir, I've done
Yes,
my
sir.
master's from Delhi Law School, right? And presently I'm pursuing
In NLU Delhi.
NLU
Huh.
Delhi, yes. And then I'm presently from Nalsar, I'm doing my diploma of 1 year. Right,
Hmm.
so you should not say that, sir, it was going to be 2 years and masters, and so I did it in 1 year. Those things are not required. At one point, you were
Okay.
mentioning, no, sir, 2 साल का हो जाएगा. The master's course will become 2 years, so I thought of doing it in 1 year strategically.
Hmm.
Right? You need not to mention that. It's not required.
Okay, okay, sir.
Right?
Okay,
उसके
sir.
बाद आपने practice किया.
Sir, uh, s- sir, just one doubt. Sir, I said that because my master's is from criminal and constitutional law. So
हाँ.
that is not in the corporate sector. So what should I substitute if they ask me that, why did you pursue your master's?
I wanted to do masters, sir. Though I wanted to do in corporate, but somehow I could not get that. And at the same
Okay.
time, I wanted to get exposure to a reputed institute like National Law School Delhi. So many times what
Okay.
happens, no, you want to go for master's course because it teaches you many things. Maybe you
Hmm.
don't get your favorite domain, right?
Special.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
sir.
when you went there, maybe you could have done electives on corporate law. Maybe you could have, learned many other things. So just try to justify what you learned from that institute actually, which was very reputed institute from where you did
Okay.
your masters. Though you wanted corporate,
Yes,
but
sir.
then you could not get as per
Yes,
the
sir.
merit, and then I decided to take the opportunity to be the part of such a reputed institute.
Okay,
Then they will
sir.
be asking you why you left your practice. So what was the reason
Hmm.
to leave the practice? So somehow you decided that you want to be in corporate law. You wanted to join
Hmm.
some big company. And in my
Hmm.
priority, the company was some Maharatna company like Power Grid. Because there,
Hmm.
when you are working, these organizations, since they are working for social motive, so you get a
Hmm.
different kind of job satisfaction working for society, working for people, right?
Hmm.
Something like that you can say.
Okay, sir.
इस तरीके से थोड़ा प्रिसाइज करो, टू द पॉइंट करो. अरुषि, अभी क्या हो रहा है, लॉयर्स आर सपोज टू बी वेरी वेरी स्ट्रेट टू द पॉइंट.
Yes, sir.
घुमाओ, नॉट घुमाओ भाई. एक क्वेश्चन का आंसर अगर आप 4 सेंटेंस में दे रहे हैं और उसी
Hmm.
क्वेश्चन का आंसर आप एक सेंटेंस में दे रहे हैं, तो दैट इज अ बेटर वे, राइट? बेटर
Yes.
कम्युनिकेशन. So speak as much is required and speak very precise, very
Yes, sir.
straight, very simply, and very clear thought. Whatever you have done, why you have done, very clear thought should be there in the mind. It
Okay.
should first come to
Okay.
your mind. So sit with your academic background, start asking everything to you. Why I did this, why I did this, and answer every question with the perspective of PGI, Power Grid Corporation, PGC, right? Not from any other
Yes, sir.
perspective, from power grid perspective. So because the person who will be interacting with you, he will continuously observe your answers in the line of your suitability for the job. तो आपने ये चीज किया तो इससे पावर ग्रिड को क्या फायदा होगा, ये चीज किया इससे पावर ग्रिड को क्या फायदा होगा, वो वही सोचेगा। आपने जो प्रैक्टिस किया उससे पावर ग्रिड को क्या फायदा होगा। कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मुंह से निकला तो पब्लिक सेक्टर में कौन से टाइप के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स होते हैं, यू कैन नॉट से आई हैव जस्ट स्टार्टेड, यू कांट से आई हैव जस्ट स्टार्टेड द कोर्स, बोलेगा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स के टाइप बताओ, पावर ग्रिड में कौन कौन से टाइप के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स हो सकते हैं, राइट।
यस सर,
दिस इज हाउ यू हैव टू डू इट।
ओके सर, ठीक है सर,
तो इसके ऊपर इंप्रूव करो आरुषि, राइट।
यस सर।